Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're wearing our black bomber shirts, and we're going to talk
Unabomber,
about
yeah.
when to buy stocks and why to buy them because there seems to be a lot of giddiness going around. I, for example, a few months ago, me and Justin we're hammering down on uranium, saying this is an incredible speculation. Here's all the facts that we have. Here's the data. Here's the risk. Here's the reward. And you have to know that before you're entering anything. And we say, okay, here's how it looks. Here's what we're going to do. And that's when we were, or at least I was really getting into uranium. Justin was focusing on a different stock at the time. and and now uranium's really starting to get some spotlight because it's going up in price. People usually only want to buy stocks when they're going up. The time to buy is before they go up because, at least for my style of trading, I want to get the beginning of the move. The first cow to the lawn gets the freshest crash, but it's also the most susceptible to getting hunted by a lion. And you have to know what area you're in.
So I can build upon that. So here at the New Orleans conference right now, and Rick Rule gave a presentation earlier today where he summed up the concept of if you get the arithmetic right. In other words, take uranium. If you say that there's X amount of demand and the demand is inelastic, in other words, as Rick is fond of saying, it's either the price of uranium goes up or you flip the switch and the lights don't go on. And based on those two alternatives, I think it's clear which one people are going to prefer. Set aside, the Greta Thunberg and all those rants. So the point on this is that if you believe your thesis, and the reason you believe your thesis is because you've done the homework, you've done the math, say, listen, this has to make sense. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Then you go for it. And this gets back into the timing thing. Because you say, well, I think I might be right, but I kind of want some positive confirmation from the market just to know that I've got it. Chances are by the time you get that positive confirmation, it's already too late, or you've left a lot of games on the table. So the
that
point
is
is
that
that
is
you have to
not
have
to
confidence
say
in yourself.
that confidence is and confidence through statistics is very different from confidence through arrogance. And a lot of people think that this stock is going to go up because they believe it is. You have to know the numbers. And for example, right now I am hammering down on a few shipping companies. I mean, there's a few times a year where you get an incredible opportunity to double your portfolio, and this is one of those times where I'm putting my chips on the table and getting a potential 5-10 bagger because I can see the numbers. You know how much money these companies are making. You know what their share price is, their market cap, and you know what they should be or what you project them to be. You don't just buy something because you are extremely confident it's going to go up. You have to know why you're confident and what could disprove your thesis. What right now with shipping, I'm in this for the medium to short term, only max 3 months. I think this move will be quick, violent, and make a lot of money and then get out. If I'm wrong, I'll lose everything. And you
Yeah.
have to be fine with that. Now, like Wayne Gretzky said, one of the most famous hockey players, I'm pretty sure it was him. You have to go to where you have to go to where the puck is going and not where it is. And now that uranium's already hot, I'm not taking profits because I'm a longer term bull and I'd like to buy on dips, but I'm not a buyer right now. I'm definitely not a buyer. What I am a buyer on is gold and
Josh,
silver.
just a quick question. Is that to say you're also not a seller, or do you have any
I'm not a
uranium
seller.
left?
I'm 100% not a seller. I'm
Okay.
holding, and I think there's still incredible upside to uranium, but this is not when I want to be buying. That being said, there are some sectors that are looking extremely attractive, like gold and silver. Who is talking about gold and silver? Only the bugs. There's a few gold and silver bugs left, and now they're just called crazy old men. And I love that. These companies are starting to look really attractive, and I just think the probabilities are highly in your favor if you're looking out, say, 6 months to 6 to 18 months on these companies.
I will also add too, I think the way I think about it is that once you do the trade and you're philosophically committed to it, it's just simply a matter of how long are you willing to stay in the trade. That is how, what does Rick say? Like, with this prior uranium trade, he was like 4 or 5 years too early. But when it did go in his favor, it really went in his favor. Much to your point, it'd be violent and at the end. Same thing I would say with, at least that's how gold booms have been in the past, because they're fear driven versus greed driven. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's the key thing is you've done the homework, you've seen the arithmetic, and you believe in it, and you believe in enough where you don't necessarily need the immediate confirmation of, oh, I put in, $10,000. Why am I not yet a billionaire type thing? Looking at you, crypto. The point is that you have the strength and the courage of your convictions to write it out, even if you do not necessarily receive the immediate confirmation from say price movement going forward.
And speaking of that, speaking of crypto, the crowds are almost always wrong. And whenever people get super excited about something, it's usually not the time to buy. If you are seeing people extremely excited, like we see in the crypto market right now, everywhere you go, you're seeing crypto.com. Oh, you can earn 5% cash back on this crypto. You can
well, just as a side note, there's an arbitrage play. We won't get into that, but yeah. What I will say is that I'm glad the Bitcoin guys. I mean, I suspect will be at 70K by the end of the month, if not sooner. Tip of the hat to them. And see, this gets back to the courage of the convictions. Because if you believe the arithmetic, at least in terms of the metals, silver and gold, that means that you're sitting in a silver or gold, either the physical position where you're paying money to store, or you're sitting in miners, which will be very volatile. And you're seeing, and this is where you have to believe in what you think, because you see, the gains coming in from the other side. You just can't help but think, well, listen, if my end goal is to make more, or if my end goal is to increase my purchasing power, loaded term there, I look around and I see that, this other class, which makes no sense, seems to be doing much better than what I've looked at the fundamentals over here of what's going on. And it's just the timing. You have to believe and continue on.
And you can't, as Chris McIntosh says, you can't kiss all the pretty girls. You're never going to ride every single wave. It's never going to happen. You have to pick a style. You have to understand where your edge is. And if you love crypto, then you can develop an edge in crypto, but you don't have to be long all the time. I am someone who's a long-term believer in crypto. I have not held any position since the release of Coinbase since the IPO. Since then, I've sold everything, and I've not been looking to enter. I am now almost looking to be short. I'm not going to be short flat out. I would look for a leveraged option play to where I could buy out of the money puts going out a few months. And that's something that I'm considering, not now, but in a few days to weeks, because with these crypto manias, or any mania, at the end, they really start to take off. And I would not be surprised if in a few weeks, say Bitcoin's at 90,000, everyone's calling for 100, we get a failed 100, and then we come crashing right back down to say 30,000. And that's just the volatility of the space.
When crypto, or when, I shouldn't say when, if, I would argue it's a when, you have the next big correction or crash in crypto, I do think that it's correct that it's going to start with the stables. I think it's going to start with Tether, and that might be kicked off by, what's going on in China right now. We'll see. But my point is,
I would say the next big crash or correction in crypto will be due to Tether. And I think that could be a multi-month, maybe a multi-year correction, because Tether is such a big portion of crypto right now. But I'm not sure if the next crash or correction will be due to Tether. I think we could just see the volatility of the mania getting overhyped, because let's think of the philosophy of a mania. Why, when everyone gets excited about something, is the price no longer going to go up? Because let's say I'm an early investor. I put my money into Bitcoin, and then I tell other people about Bitcoin. Other people say, oh, I'm interested in Bitcoin. Then they get in. Then other people get in. They get in. And then as you keep on going up the list of more and more people getting in, and the price keeps on going up, now there's no one left to buy at the top. There's only sellers left. When everybody is in on something, that's when it's most probable to come down, because there's no more buyers left.
And all the ones who have bought have been tapped out. That's assuming, though, of course, that you don't have a new class of buyers coming in. So, for example, the individual retail buyers might be tapped out, but the institutions might be flowing in. Yeah. I mean, there's all that chatter about that new ETF that launched 2 days ago.
You start with the early angel investors, then it goes to the institutional investors, and the last is always the retail investors. The retail crowd, the big chunk of people, is always the last to get in on everything. And that is not to say that retail is always wrong, because there are retailers that outperform everyone. In the new Market Wizards book, there was a retailer who turned like 2,000 into like 42 million in a few years. And that does happen. You have to have an edge, and you have to play your edge if you're going to do something like that, though.